So, taking apart a light fixture inside of a vehicle. If you're wondering why that is, it's because I'm installing a dash cam that has a rear facing feed. And in order for me to get the wire, which doesn't appear to be long enough for this SUV, to get to the front of the vehicle, excuse me, the front of the vehicle, I need to run it straight instead of the recommended way, which is, following the trim all the way around, blah, 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 blah. So I'm going to feed it straight across, and it's going to require me to take out each of these dome lights, that one, and then I have to finagle my way around the sunroof in some manner or fashion, either that way or that way, preferably that way, because I'm planning on putting the dash cam to the right of the rear camera, of the rear mirror. So let's see how this turns out. I purchased this dash cam on Amazon. Link in the description below. It's the 8-man C550 dash camera. It's a dual dash cam with the forward-facing camera on the main unit with the display and the controls, and the rear-facing camera separate, which can be mounted either on the exterior or the interior. I'm choosing the interior because I'm not quite sure it's going to reach in the back. Forward cam claims to be 1080p, while the rear camera says it's 720p. The box includes the main unit, the rear camera, the power cable for the car, which also has an extra USB slot so you don't lose it in case you're charging your phone or whatnot. Mini USB cable for data transfer, two adhesive pads, and the mount for the main unit. And it also has an adhesive pad for the rear unit with screws. They even threw in a micro SD card. So let's see. Let's get to work and see if I can get this thing installed.
see, I have it mounted. I did not screw it in. It came with an adhesive 3M strip that fits specifically for the cam. You see, I somewhere ran the wire. So when it's down, it's pointed at just the right angle that I want it. You see, I put all the interior lighting back together. No wires anywhere that are exposed. See, I tightened that up. Just tie wrapped it up there. Make it snug. It's out of the way to keep it seen. See, it's still being powered by the 12 volt that it came with. Ran the cabling up and inside and down to the device. Let's see if we can lighten this up a little bit. It is hot out here. So it is powered on. As you can see on the screen, I have it in split screen mode. You have a couple of different modes that you can activate for the display. It is recording right now. You can adjust the camera from either side by twisting this little knob. There's one on each side. You can adjust the camera up or down, whatever suits your fancy. And I am going to take it on a test drive. It does have a rechargeable battery, but from my experience with other cheap cameras in the $60, $70 range, it doesn't last. So it turns off not too shortly after, even though the battery status says that it's full.
Waiting for head.
That was not the camera. That's another device that I have in the vehicle because this is an older car and I haven't replaced the head unit yet. So it does not have an auxiliary plug anywhere in the vehicle. It does have the button, but I imagine that the actual auxiliary connection is in the back of the radio and I would have to run a port from the back to here. I didn't feel like doing that. So, and besides, I have an iPhone. That defeats the purpose unless I get one that's Bluetooth. And I doubt there's enough space in the back to connect it and leave it there. But anyhow, back to this. Let's take it for a drive. I am done. I am done. I am done. It was so strenuous installing this thing. No, let me stop. I only ran into two real roadblocks. Number one, because I was installing it in an SUV, a Honda Pilot to be more exact. I figure this thing is more designed for a smaller vehicle, a sedan, something not as long that doesn't have such a long run all the way to the back. With that being said, I chose to install it inside of the tailgate instead of on the outside of the tailgate. I still installed it on the actual tailgate itself, but using the adhesive pad that came with it for the rear camera instead of using screws. I didn't want to destroy any of the trim work inside of the truck. I was able to get it in a near perfect position in the back of the truck. But running the cable from the actual tailgate all the way to the front was a bit of a hassle. It would have been a lot easier if it had a longer cable. That way I could have just ran it along the side trim all the way over the doors, just stuffed it in there and ran it all the way to the front. It would have been fairly simple. But because I had to take a more direct route than that due to the length of the cable, I ran it straight down the middle of the truck. That's why I had to take out the dome lights. That's why I had to take out the that's why I had to go around the sunroof and in order to get to the front. But other than that, it came together pretty smooth. Now, as far as the footage is concerned, lackluster is the word that comes to mind when I look at the footage, the playback on the dash cam on this 8-man, what is it, C550. Now, don't get me wrong, it works. It doesn't glitch. It's pretty responsive using the controls on the actual unit, but the actual footage itself is not what I guess you get what you pay for. You know, it's not what you would want, but it's better than most. Put it like that. So you get a pretty good picture, pretty good video in order to look at and go back to. But if you're looking for details, a camera that you can get clear details like tag information or facial features, this probably isn't the camera. This is more for I got in an accident and I just want to prove